Tonight, a News Channel 5 exclusive. Tennessee's Attorney General defends his investigation of Vanderbilt's transgender clinic and reveals the video that he says sparked the entire thing. Good evening, I'm Carrie Sharp.
And I'm Rory Johnston. News of that investigation has triggered fears among some that the Attorney General is really going after the trans community.
That's why, as part of our ongoing revealed investigation of Capitol Hill, our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams, decided to take his questions directly to the man at the center of this controversy.
You know, guys, these are difficult issues with strong feelings on both sides. Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti tells me his investigation of Vanderbilt's trans clinic is about protecting taxpayer dollars. He insists it's not, as one liberal commentator has suggested, another example of Republicans using, quote, every tool they've got to try to make life miserable for trans people and their families. Is this a transgender investigation?
No, this is a fraud investigation.
Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti now finds himself at the center of the nation's bitter struggle over transgender rights. Court filings recently revealed that last year, Skrmetti opened an investigation into Vanderbilt University Medical Center's transgender clinic, issuing 3 separate civil investigative demands ordering the clinic to turn over its records.
We're here today to protect children.
It came immediately after conservative forces rallied at the state capitol against gender-affirming care for minors, and Tennessee Governor Bill Lee called for an investigation of the Vanderbilt clinic.
Do you understand why some think your actions look political, that you're doing the governor's bidding?
Sure, I understand the optics. It was very easy when people said there should be an investigation of Vanderbilt to say that we're going to enforce the state laws because we were already aware of the potential billing issues there at the time.
Those billing issues, Skrmetti says, were discovered in this video posted online.
Gender dysphoria as the diagnosis.
Showing the founder of Vanderbilt's transgender clinic openly talking about how she gets around so-called documentation challenges where insurance companies will not pay for transgender care.
So for the patient who gets a big bill because their insurance doesn't cover any transgender related codes, I usually write endocrine disorder not otherwise specified to allow me to order the labs that I want.
It's fraud. I mean, the government is allowed to set limits on what's going to be reimbursed. Private companies are allowed to set limits on what's going to be reimbursed. And if a doctor in the coding process uses a code that is not the most accurate code for the explicit purpose of avoiding those limitations, they're trying to get money that they are not owed.
Would you have initiated this investigation if it had involved a heart doctor, a kidney doctor, a dermatologist?
Absolutely. We do dozens of investigations a year for medical billing fraud.
As part of his Vanderbilt investigation, court records show Skrmetti obtained the medical records of 106 patients. All of them, the AG says, patients who are covered by state insurance plans. A recent lawsuit filed on behalf of Vanderbilt patients says one nonprofit has received hundreds of phone calls from families in varying degrees of mental health crisis, including suicide ideation caused by the release of the records.
Do you understand their pain?
I mean, I think it's probably terrifying right now. They're being told that this is for a nefarious purpose. I get it, but there's no political exception to the fraud laws. It's not a question of trying to use these names for the purpose of going after individuals. The purpose is to link up the billing records to the medical records to determine whether anything inappropriate happened.
There are some who would like to see parents prosecuted for child abuse, for seeking gender-affirming care for their children. Can you assure parents right now that these records will not be used for that purpose?
Absolutely.
There's no way.
There's no possible way they could be used for that purpose.
Aye, 77-16 nays.
Senate Bill 1 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider table.
As a result of a new law passed this year, gender-affirming care for minors is now illegal in Tennessee over the objections of families who say those treatments have been lifesavers. Skrmetti is now defending that law in the courts, arguing that doctors are overdiagnosing trans issues and actually harming children.
Do you accept that gender dysphoria is a legitimate medical issue?
Yes.
Do you accept that there are people who from a very early age feel trapped in bodies they don't recognize?
Yes. Some people, a very small portion of the population has been dealing with this for a very long time.
If a child has experienced profound gender dysphoria from an early age, and the doctor and the families think treatment is appropriate, what business is it of yours, of the state's, to say you cannot do that?
If the issue is that way too many people are getting the treatments that need them, and that some people are going to be harmed by that in the long run, and that on balance it's hurting people in the state more than it's helping them, then it's within the police powers of the state legislature to make that determination.
Police powers that trans advocates argue have now become a tool for persecuting families in real need of medical help.
It's hard out there for transgender people, and I don't want to persecute them. I just want to make sure that our laws are enforced in the appropriate constitutional way.
Now, Vanderbilt declined to comment because of the ongoing. One thing I learned is that more than a decade ago, when he was a federal prosecutor, General Skrmetti actually prosecuted a Memphis police officer who savagely beat a trans woman. Note that since taking office, he has urged the federal government not to include gender identity under the law that protects students from discrimination, and he has defended laws that ban transgender athletes from girls' teams and laws prohibiting the use of tax dollars for gender transition.
I know the AG has stirred up controversy with his position that he should be allowed to look at the medical records of women who go out of state for abortions.
That's right. He definitely has. And we had some tough questions about that. You'll hear what he had to say tonight at 10.
Phil, thank you. Our team is committed to finding the truth and holding those in power accountable. If you'd like to take a look back at our past coverage on this and other high-profile stories, go to newschannel5.com/reveal.